Brother Luqman, I want to come back to you a little bit and ask you, what else are some of the rights that a neighbor has over another? What else are some of the things that and responsibilities that we should fulfill for our neighbors?
As we already discussed, that we have to be kind to our neighbor, whether he is Muslim or non-Muslim. For instance, if you are living in European countries, one of European countries, or in United States or something like that, you will have many people that have different religions. As you know that not most of them are Muslim like us. We are living in Muslim countries, so many people here have the same religion with us. But if you, for instance, living in one of the European countries or in the United States or somewhere, you will have the neighbor who is not Muslim, and you still have to be kind to him. You still have to treat him kind. And also, I think the most interesting thing that we have to do is to try to invite him to Islam, to try to introduce Islam to him, because it is a great opportunity for us to invite other people who have different religion with us to our religion. And the Prophet ever said that if you can guide someone to your religion, it is more expensive, it is the most precious for you than to have something that is more expensive. La yahdiyallahu bika rajulan wahidan khairun laka min khumrin na'am. So to invite our neighbor to Islam is very interesting duty, and also as a Muslim we are encouraged to do us. We can invite our neighbor, for instance, to have dinner first. It's not to start directly about the topic. You can invite him to visit our home, and then we have a dinner together, we have something to eat together, and something like that. As it is said that food united, food that can unite us, because someone who is full, he is in the good mood, and then he can accept other people. So the first thing that you should do when you are trying to invite your neighbor to Islam is, first of all, you should invite him to have sort of dinner or something like that. And in another day, you can try to introduce him about Islam, for instance. It's not about discussing about their religion. We should not try to attack their religion. We should not discuss about whether Jesus is God or not, whether Jesus is God incarnated or not. We should not discuss about this thing. If you are trying to discuss this topic, maybe he will not accept your invitation. But you probably can start by discussing something common between Islam and Christianity, that Islam is a religion that respect and consider Jesus as one of the prophets and messenger, for instance. And also, for instance, you can try to introduce him that Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more than the Prophet mentioned. The Prophet Muhammad was mentioned in the Quran. For instance, Jesus was mentioned in the Quran for about 25 times, and the Prophet Muhammad only mentioned in the Quran 4 times. So it's very interesting. And also, when you are discussing about the Virgin of Mary, Maryam in Arabic we call it, for instance, the Virgin Mary was mentioned in the Quran for about 34, as I remember. But if you look at the New Testament only mentioned her name for about 19, as I remember. And also in the Quran we have the chapter that is named by Maryam, Lady Maryam, Surah to Maryam. So discussing about common ground between Islam and Christian, that we have the same root. Our religions have the same root to Abraham as the founder of monotheism. Is very interesting. It's not about discussing whether Jesus was God or not, because if you start discussing this topic, they will not accept your invitation, they will not accept your explanation. To discuss about common ground between Islam and Christian, and some people said to me that when you are living in United States and you are studying in school, they will put Islam outside the Christianity and Judaism. And the fact actually Islam has the same root with the Christianity and Judaism. So we have to try to introduce them that Islam has some common belief with Christianity and Judaism, so that way they will not think that Islam is strong religion, foreign religion. Islam is religion that have some belief with some similarity with Christianity and Judaism. So when we are trying to invite our neighbor to Islam, we have to do that in the West way.
I agree with you on both of those points. The first, which you mentioned, that from one of the rights of the neighbors, especially for non-Muslim neighbors, is that you invite them to Islam, or you let them know about it. But it also has to be done with wisdom, like you said.
Yes.
You don't just go to somebody and say, well, your religion is wrong. This is going to push him away.
Yes.
There has to be wisdom involved in it, interfaith, different methods that are out there that we can learn to invite the neighbors. It doesn't always have to be straightforward religious talk. Like you said, invite him for dinner, have a conversation with him. It doesn't have to be about religion.
Yes.
And it's always about finding common ground and just introducing the concept to them. With that being said, alhamdulillah, we've come to the end of our segment. So I want to thank both of you brothers for joining me here today and sharing your time and your thoughts with us. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.